Okay, welcome everyone. I am so excited and happy and grateful to be here with you all to welcome you to this water masterclass. And there's so much that I want to share and transmit today. So just thank you so much for coming. And I hope that you find the experience exactly what you needed. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and start my slides. And please let me know in the chat if you can see my slides and you can hear me, because there was a time when I did a whole presentation and no one could see my slides and no one told me. So let's see what people are saying. All good. You can hear me and you can see me. Great. Okay, so let's get started to this Live Like Water, Love Like Water Masterclass. E komo mai, which means welcome in Hawaiian, Hawaii is where I was born and raised. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Gutierrez. I'm a multidimensional psychiatrist. I'm a water keeper, and I'm devoted to the work of human ecological restoration. And you might be asking yourself, what are all these terms? Don't worry, that's exactly what we're going to be jumping into today. So you are in the right place if you are a water person and a water lover, and you want to restore and deepen your relationship to water on all levels: physically, emotionally, psychologically, energetically, spiritually. You want to learn how to activate the natural healing qualities of water in your own embodiment. You care about our earth and you want to do your part in restoring the quality of water on our planet. And here's what you're going to learn by hanging out with me today. You're going to learn what happens when you are a water person and you get disconnected from water. The signs and symptoms of water disconnection. The process of restoring your body of water and your relationship to water. I'm going to facilitate a direct energy healing experience because I'm a fan of direct experience and I like learning about things, but I like experiencing things even more. So after we go through the context, I'm going to facilitate a direct energy healing experience of purifying, rebalancing, and harmonizing everyone's internal waterways individually and as a collective body of water. And what you can do to continue to nurture your relationship to water after you get off of this call. All right, I thought I would start by just sharing a little bit about my journey as a water keeper, because everything I share today comes from my own lived experience. And my entire life has been about water and my relationship to water, whether it's a deep connection to water or periods of time of disconnection from water. So I have an intimate personal experience of both connection and disconnection. So I was born and raised in Honolulu, and my parents and ancestors in this lifetime are from Vietnam. And now I've lived most of my adult life in Northern California. So you can say that my life has really been about following the currents of the Pacific Ocean. And being raised on the islands, I loved the water. But my mother and grandmother both didn't know how to swim, and so they feared the water. And I remember sneaking out to the beach and telling my parents I was going to the mall instead, because they thought the mall was safer than the ocean, which I think is debatable. But even from an early age, I recall what it was like to feel a call and pull to the waters, and then have something holding me back. And then this continued in my life as I went off to the mainland for college and then went further inland for medical school, and then eventually settling in an area that's far from the ocean. So I've personally experienced the pull and call to the water and what it's like to have life circumstances disconnect me from water. Now, I'm a multidimensional psychiatrist. I have training in both child, adolescent, and adult in adult psychiatry. So I study the human experience, the human developmental experience its challenges, and as well as the healing process. I've also always been a spiritual seeker, curious about the mysteries of life and my role and purpose in it. And I remember even as a small child, just asking myself, like, why am I here? What's my purpose? Like, what am I supposed to do here? And that question has really guided me. I've been like committed to understanding what is my purpose in this life. And as I continued on my journey, water kept calling to me. It kept whispering to me. It kept pulling me towards it. And at a certain point, I couldn't ignore it any longer. So I answered water's calling and deepened my relationship to water. And when I did this, everything in my life changed. Because when you work with water, there's a process. It strips away your layers. It uncovers and brings your healing to the surface. It facilitates that healing. It waters your growth, and it reveals to you the truth of who you are. So I continued to listen and deepen my relationship to water. And I remember one day a friend said the words, "water keeper," to me. And something inside me turned back on, like a deep memory woke up. And suddenly everything in my life finally made sense. It was like I finally found what I've been seeking my whole life and what I was born to do. I am a water keeper. So you might be asking yourself, who is a water keeper? Am I a water keeper? And great, those are the questions that I want you to ask yourself, and hopefully you'll have some clarity by the end of this class. To me, a water keeper is someone who has a deep sacred connection to water, who feels a commitment to serve, honor, and protect water, each in their own unique way. My unique way of being a water keeper in this lifetime is through this work that I call human ecological restoration. So what is human ecological restoration? First of all, I don't hear anyone else using this term. This is a term that I use to describe my body of work, so I get to define it. But ecology is the study of relationships between living organisms and their environment. And ecologists restore an environment through cleaning up toxins and pollution, removing artificial structures and diversions, creating habitats for native plants and species to return, and restoring a vibrant ecosystem of life. So human ecological restoration is about restoring our own ecology. Like we ourselves, our bodies, are an ecosystem, our inner landscape, our internal waterways, our consciousness of how we relate to ourselves, our bodies, each other, our environment, and our shared home, this planet Earth, so that humans can come back into harmony with the greater ecosystem of life. What I have found is that working directly with water is one of the most effective ways of restoring an ecosystem. But what I found is that many people have become disconnected from water, from their relationship to water, and their own bodies of water and the natural environments. And this is partly related to the environmental crisis we see in our world right now, because our relationship with ourselves is mirrored in our relationship with the earth and our environment. So what happens when you get disconnected from water? So what I'm going to share here is you're not going to find these symptoms in the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, which is what mental health professionals use to diagnose disorders. But I've experienced all of these symptoms myself, and I see them in the clients I work with. And in the same way that psychiatrists do mental status exams and we assess whether we think someone's depressed or anxious or manic or psychotic, I can literally tell when someone has become disconnected from water or what dimension of their relationship to water needs to be restored. There's a presentation that I see over and over again. So 1, you feel stuck and stagnant, but you're afraid to make a change. There's a lack of movement because the nature of water is always moving. It's dynamic. It's the nature of water. 2, 2, your body holds on to unprocessed and unexpressed emotions, trauma, and grief. Now, there's so much evidence that our bodies hold on to everything, every experience we've had, every emotion, every trauma or grief that we haven't healed and processed and released. Our bodies and our bodies of water hold on to these. And if our waters aren't flowing, our bodies are holding on to this. Life literally feels heavy and difficult. And the analogy I like to use here is when you're going to travel long distances. Like, I love backpacking, but if I'm going to travel a long distance, would I rather travel like with a heavy pack on my back, like step by step, or would I rather put everything into a canoe and float downstream? Like, I personally would rather use the flow of water to assist me in my journey. And yeah. And your physical body becomes more rigid and tense because literally you're carrying everything on your back, on your bodies, and you're not accessing the energy and the principles of water in your life, in your embodiment. And so you actually feel an aching and longing for water. And I felt this aching and longing for water for many years in my life. And I just sort of lived with it. Your energy often feels depleted, like your well has run dry, because our water carries our life force energy throughout our system. And when we get disconnected from reading our waters and reading our energies, we often overdraw and over-deplete our water supply, which is what is being mirrored in the bigger world when we overdraw and over-deplete on our natural resources. And modern life often rewards or teaches us that this is what just needs to happen. That you just keep drawing on your energy supply until it runs dry. But that's not really being in connection with how your own water supply works and how your own energy supply works. And your creativity, your inspiration, and your zest for life feels blocked because, again, water is the vessel and the vehicle for all of these things to flow through us, through our creativity. And if we get disconnected from water and the principles of water, these aspects of our life may feel blocked. So you may try to ignore, suppress, or minimize these symptoms, but the only real cure is restoring your connection to water. There is no substitute for water itself. And I say this from personal lived experience, because for decades I ignored my disconnection to water, even though it was such an important part of who I was. And I continued on my healing and spiritual seeking path, and I explored so many healing modalities. And as I was joking with Julia, like healing is my hobby. Like, I just love learning and experiencing and facilitating healing because I want to understand how healing works. And so I explored so many healing modalities: psychotherapy, yoga, body work, breath work, dream work, nutrition, shamanic healing, energy healing, sexual healing, art, sacred medicine, nature-based work. And I love all these modalities, and I still practice many of them on a daily basis. So these healing modalities work. And yet for me, water was still the missing element. It wasn't until I reconnected with water that it brought everything together. And that makes sense to me now because water is a connector. And water connects all of life on our planet. And it connects everything in your body, and it connects all parts of you. So especially if you are a water person and you are ignoring your relationship to water, you're not going to be able to feel well and whole because it's just a part of who you are. And even if you don't necessarily identify as a water person, if you aren't harnessing the principles of water in your life, then you're probably making life harder than it has to be. So when I say that water is healing, you probably know exactly what I mean. when you're not feeling great, or you've had a long day, or you're tired, or you're stressed or relaxed, you just know that going to the water is going to make you feel better. There's something very soothing and calming about being held by water. Like your nervous system really feels relaxed by that. And there's something about the way water holds you and meets you time and time again. Now, I'm not an academic researcher by nature. That's just not my strength. So I'm so blessed and grateful that Wallace Nichols here did all the research for me in his book, Blue Mind, which is a very good book that I recommend, that compiles all the science that shows how being near, in, on, or underwater can make us healthier, happier, more connected, and better at what we do. So there's a growing body of evidence that is demonstrating water's healing properties and how it affects our brain and how it affects our nervous system and how it makes us feel. But again, like I say, I'm a fan of direct experience, and I just love experiencing something to see whether it works for me or not. And when I do find something that works for me, I observe it and I study it and I see if it works for others. So I've observed water's natural qualities. It's beautiful, it's magical, it's powerful, it's playful, it's loving, it's emotional, it's expansive, it's dynamic, it's flowing, and it facilitates reflection, connection, cleansing, soothing, releasing, and revitalization. And so when you restore your relationship to water and you imbue these natural qualities of water in your own body of water and your own life, like these qualities will just come alive in you. And I see this in the clients I work with. So how do you restore your relationship to water? First of all, you need to acknowledge that you are a body of water. I mean, we're all made up of close to 70% water. So you are a body of water. And water is multidimensional. So when you restore your relationship to water, you do it on multiple levels. So physically, there's no substitute for actually spending more time with water. If you just do that in and of itself, like spend more time going to water, the ocean, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the creeks, you're going to improve your mental and emotional health. And then when you become more mindful of how water is present physically in our lives all the time, whether we go on an excursion, we interact with water on a daily basis at all times. When we drink water, when we wash our hands, and ultimately, we are a body of water. So the more connected you feel to your physical body of water, you're going to restore your fluidity and your relationship to water. And there's many different ways to actually help restore your physical hydration and your fluid exchange and the fluidity in your myofascial layer. So that's one dimension. Emotionally, you restore your emotional relationship to water by honoring and tending to your emotions. So as water people, who I assume most of you are water people if you're here, we are very emotional people. Like that is just the way of water. Water holds emotions. And we feel our emotions. When we feel our emotions, that is us connecting to water. So when we avoid, distract, or minimize our emotions, we're disconnecting from water. And our emotional body of water actually holds the key to our healing. It holds all of the healing, our emotional inner child healing, our ancestral healing. When you think about water, it's on our planet, it's a closed system. The amount of water on our planet has not changed since the beginning of our planet. So the waters that our ancestors drank is the same waters that we're drinking now. That is the same water our descendants will drink. So the water has so much memory and so much intelligence that we hold in ourselves and that we can tap into for our own healing and for the healing of our lineages and for our planet. Psychologically, you develop what Wallace Nichols calls in his book, blue mind. You develop a blue mind. You start not only thinking about water all the time, like I do, but you start thinking like water. You start asking yourself, what would water do? What is water trying to teach me here? And you let those lessons guide you in your life. Energetically, water is an absorber, a transmitter, and a carrier of energy. And it's what carries your life force energy throughout your body. So when your energy gets stuck or blocked, then if your waters get stuck or blocked, then your energy is not flowing the way it's supposed to. It's like when there's artificial dams that we have erected in our environment that have artificially blocked the flow of the natural way of water. We can have artificial blockages in our own bodies. And when we restore our connection to how energy is supposed to flow through our bodies, we restore the proper flow of water in our bodies. And this relates to also being aware of our energy supply and being aware of when we overdraw and overdeplete our energy, and when we need to stop and replenish and refill our well. Also, every body of water carries a unique energy. For example, the ocean has a very different energy than a river or a lake or a stream. And in the same way, every human has a particular unique energy, a particular unique energetic signature, which I like to call your watermark. And as you get more in tune with your body and your water and your energy, you're going to discover, again, as you strip away these layers and do your healing, what is your unique energetic water signature? And how can you transmit that out into your life? And spiritually, restoring your sacred connection to water is a spiritual experience, because water is alive and it has a consciousness. And there are those of us who are really drawn to listen to it and to be messengers for it. So there's all these different dimensions of connecting to water. So what happens internally when you restore your connection to water? You deepen your connection and relationship to yourself. You honor the truth of the importance of water to you and your life. Your physical body restores its hydration and fluidity. You become more confident and competent at riding your emotional waves. You heal your inner child and ancestral wounds. You develop a blue mind and start thinking like water. You learn how to read and manage your own energy supply. And you unblock your creativity, your sexuality, your intuition. And then what happens externally when you restore your connection to water? Because everything you do internally comes out externally. Because water is a purifier and reflector, whatever is not in alignment with your truth naturally just starts slipping away, and your outer life becomes a reflection of your internal waters. So you spend more time connecting with water on all levels. You move through life with greater ease and flow because you are harnessing the principles of water. And you feel more authentic and connected in your family, your relationships, your work, and your play, because you're connected to the truth of who you are. And you become a vessel for water's expression in your own unique and magical way. This is when your own unique water signature comes out. All right, so I want to go back to the title of this talk, Live Like Water, Love Like Water, because this is really the heart of my work. Love and water are both potent medicines, and being in mental health and being in medicine, we don't talk about this at all, how love and water are both so potent medicines. Water connects all of life on our planet. And I have found that love is the highest healing vibration of energy there is. In all of my studies and experiences with healing and my own journey and working with clients, love really is the highest healing vibration of energy there is. And so when you combine the two, when you transmit the energy of love into water, first and foremost, your own body of water, you just heal. You heal everything that needs to be healed, and you become a walking, talking, living, loving body of water that just radiates that energy like water does to everything around you, in your family, in your relationships, in your work, and in your community. And when you transmit that into the waters of our planet, it just spreads. It just spreads. And so that is some background context that I want to provide, and it's a great segue into our healing experience, because this is what I want to share with you all. So I'm going to stop this presentation, and I'm going to transition. I'm going to transition into the energy healing experience. So, this is about switching gears out of our thinking, intellectual, student mind, and really into receiving healing experience. And so whether you're new to energy healing or guided meditation or visualization, just trust that you showed up today. You showed up today because something called to you to come to this talk, and just trust that you will receive whatever you are meant to receive, and I will guide you through everything. So this is what I love doing. I love just facilitating and holding space for healing and harnessing the powers of water for healing. So I'm going to, just invite you to just make yourself comfortable. I'm going to turn on some music, and it's going to be a guided visualization, partly meditation, partly shamanic journey. I've realized that I can't really separate what these modalities are. They just are all interwoven together. But it's the work I do with my clients, and so I know that if you are here and you are ready for some healing, that you will receive exactly the healing that you are meant to receive. And we're gonna do some grounding, connecting to the earth. We're gonna purify your waters. We're gonna rebalance your waters. So you're gonna leave today with a cleaner water system. All right. Hilie, can you please share the second to last slide again, please? What was that slide? I'm going to make all the slides available to you guys. So just trust that if you don't remember what it was, that you don't need to remember what it is right now. and then let's just switch gears. I'm going to get my singing bowl because I need to switch gears out of lecturing to just being present. And so I know some of you look like you're at work, but wherever you are, if you can, just make yourself comfortable, like you're coming to a healing session to receive. You might want to lie down, you might want to close your eyes, you can shut off your video if you want. How's the music sound in terms of volume? Can you hear it, but you can also hear my voice? Is it too loud? Thank you, Shannon. Okay. All right. So just really go inside and reconnect to yourself and go inside. It takes a while. It takes us a while to switch out of our doing, thinking mind and into our being, receiving presence. But it's in our being and receiving presence that healing is actually facilitated. And what I've learned is healing is a natural process, like growth and development. So it just happens when you're present for it and ready for it and wanting it. So the most important thing is just to really switch into being a receiving mode. Just start bringing your attention to your breath. If you're new to meditation, just start bringing your attention to your breath, which is the easiest way to connect to your body and yourself. And I'm tuning in to each of us individually and collectively as a body of water. So I can really feel as we drop in together, whether you're on the call live or on the replay. And like I said, we have so many layers to us, so many dimensions. So even if you have physically been on this call with me, maybe your emotional layers, your psychological layers, your energetic layers, and your spiritual layers are still coming in. Just give yourself time for that. There's so much time and space for all of you to come in and be held here in the waters, so that the water can penetrate all those layers of you. Just settle in the way that a bowl of water or a glass of water might take some time to settle in. Your own body of water needs some time to settle in, and I can feel that, and I will proceed when I sense that we are ready to proceed. So you just continue to be present. Bringing your attention to your breath. And then I want you to invite you to visualize that you're going to go for a walk in the woods. You're out in beautiful nature. It's a beautiful fall day. And you're going to go to these sacred healing pools in a private, pristine place that's made just for you, for your healing. So just go down a path in nature, whatever path comes to mind. Some of us are more visual than others. Doesn't matter. Just I'm inviting you to take a walk out in nature to some sacred healing pools, and your sacred healing pool of water that is designed specifically for you. And you know it when you see it. It's coming around the corner, and you see a sacred healing pool of water. You notice that even though it's been a crisp fall day, that the air here is a bit warmer, and the ground feels a bit warmer, because you're actually standing over a geothermal site that's releasing some heat from the ground and from the pool of water. It's creating a steam-like effect. And so it feels warming. And when it feels warming, your skin can relax. It can open. And what I was shown and whispered and told is that we all need some rehydration and some replenishment and some renourishment. So we need to open up our skin and our body to take in this hydration. It's sort of like soil that's been packed and dry, you can't just pour water on it. It won't sink in. It needs to actually be softened and loosened. So as you're entering this area with your sacred pool and feeling the warmth of the air, I invite you to sit down and feel the warmth of the ground beneath you. It's just the right temperature for you. So you're going to sit down on the ground so your body can make direct contact with the earth. And you can feel the warmth of the earth and the solid ground of the earth holding you. And I'm going to really root and ground you into the earth, because we've been talking about water disconnection, but there's also been earth disconnection. And so many of us walk through our daily lives disconnected from the earth and the waters, which is such a huge natural resource for our well-being. So I'm going to energetically, mentally, physically reconnect you to the earth right now. So as you're sitting on the ground and imagining and feeling the warmth of the earth holding you, I want you to imagine roots growing out of your body, extending down into the earth, through the soil, through the rocks, through the layers, through the crystals, the volcanic layers, and into the core of the earth, just deeper and deeper. Your roots are extending deep and deeper and deeper into the earth itself, like a tree extending its roots into the earth. You are connected to the earth, and this is going to provide such nourishment for you. The nutrients from the earth can come into you, and also for you to release whatever needs to be released. You can release it into the earth. And then I'm going to invite you to ground even more. So imagine from the base of your spine a golden grounding cord, like a rope extending down from the base of your spinal cord into the earth, through the soil, through the rocks, through the lava, through the volcanic layers, into the crystalline core of the earth. So that if I were to give this cord a tug, you could almost feel it tugging on your spine, the base of your spine. So you're really rooted and grounded into the earth, and you feel this connection, this solid connection to the earth. And then I'm going to just start the purification process. We're going to start with the purification process. I'm just going to invite you to imagine golden liquid light pouring down from you, pouring down onto you from the heavens above. Just a golden liquid light falling onto your head. This is just going to take off the surface layers of any debris, anything you've collected onto your physical surface body that can just be released. So let this golden liquid light just cloak you and cover you from your head, down your face. Just let it ooze down like golden honey. Down your neck and shoulders, down your arms and out your hands. And the steam is still coming up from the ground and the water. So your skin is really softening and opening, both to receive the golden liquid light and also to release any toxins that you've just accumulated. And let the golden liquid light come down your torso, your chest, your back, your stomach, your hips, just down your thighs, your legs, your feet. then just let it soak into the earth around you, into your roots, into your grounding cord. Just let it all flow out of you. Anything that you are ready to release on the surface, just let it release. And the earth will take it. She takes this and composts it for new life. So it's not even toxic to her. Whatever you're releasing, she's composting for new life. And now that you've kind of taken off the surface layer, I'm going to invite you to start entering this sacred pool of water. So you can undress if you'd like. I always like to undress when I go in the water. Who wants to go in the water with their clothes on? But whatever feels right to you. And we're going to go into the sacred healing pool of water for our next phase of cleansing and purification. So first of all, you're just going to rinse off that golden liquid light as you step into the water. And you can it's such warm water. It's like the perfect temperature for you. Whatever temperature you want, it's that temperature. So you're going to step into this water. You're going to feel it holding you from head to toe, or however deep you want to go. You're going to go into the sacred healing pool. Some of you might want to completely submerge and get your head and hair wet. Some of you just might want to step in and just be at whatever place feels right for you. Your body knows, and water will always meet you wherever you're at. It is the most loving, unconditional presence I have found. And it will keep inviting you to be with it. So just be with the water and the sacred pool of water as we go a layer deeper into the purification. After we've cleared the surface areas, I like to go into the digestive system, because our digestive system holds on to so much stagnant energy, unprocessed emotions, just energy blockages. So I'm going to invite you to imagine that on just the side of the pool, there's a glass of golden liquid light, and you're going to go and grab that glass, and you're going to take a sip of this golden liquid light into your mouth. And before you swallow, it's okay if you already did, but before you swallow, just hold this golden liquid light in your mouth, in your oral cavity, and really let its healing energy absorb into your mouth, your tongue, your teeth, your oral mucosa. Again, it's like a cleansing, it's absorbing, it's just taking away anything that's ready to be released. And when you feel ready, you can swallow that golden liquid light so that it can go down your throat, into your esophagus, so that it can coat your stomach. And if you want to take more sips of the golden liquid light, just do as you feel called to, as you intuitively know how much you want to take in. I want you to trust yourself and trust your relationship with water and your healing. So you're just going to let this golden liquid light coat your stomach. And then from your stomach, it moves into your small intestine. The small intestine is where there's so much old, stagnant energy, unprocessed emotions. So it's like we have this garden hose, a bowl of noodles in our tummy. It's like really long. It's like 20 meters long. So much can get stored and stuck there. So you're just going to visualize this golden liquid light like making its way through your small intestine, back and forth. And it's okay if you don't really know the anatomy of your small intestine, just your intention alone and bringing your attention to, we're moving this through. And I'm tuning in, and you guys are doing a great job. There's no resistance. I feel like you're all really here and open and present to this process, and so it's just flowing along. And it's removing everything that's stuck in your small intestine. It doesn't even need to have a story. You don't even need to have a conscious awareness of what's being released. Just allowing whatever's ready to be released and cleaned. And then the small intestine is going to transition in your body to the large intestine, the colon, just at the right lower quadrant of your abdomen. And by structure and function, your colon's it's larger and more rigid, but it's also, there's movement in your colon. And there's also areas that things can get stuck in your colon. So just let the golden liquid light absorb into all those pockets and areas in your colon. Cleaning out, clearing out. Goes up your right side, across your abdomen and down your left side, and just restoring the fluidity to your digestive system. You know, this is where anxiety, when we get like that clench in our stomach, that's not how our stomachs and digestive systems and intestines are supposed to feel. There's a fluidity that helps us move things along, not only in our nutritional digestion, but in our emotional digestion, in our digestion of life and its experiences. We just let it move through us. Perfect. So from your colon, it's going to come out, your anus and your rectum. It's just going to go out into the waters. Whatever was no longer needed in your digestive system. And then now we're going to go directly into your circulatory system. We're going to use the intelligence of your own body's design, the waterways of your circulatory system that connect everything in your body, that brings blood and oxygen and nourishment and nutrients to every cell in your body without you even thinking about it. What a beautiful system you have. And so we're going to just pour this golden liquid light directly into your heart. So just imagine this golden liquid healing light into your heart, the heart of your circulatory system. Just let it absorb into your heart cells. Same way it absorbed into your oral cavity. Just let it really sit in your heart and absorb into your heart cells. There's so much heart healing that we all need at this time on our planet. The more we heal ourselves, the more we can spread this healing. So just really let the light, this golden liquid, absorb into your heart cells. Just absorbing the pain. I sense there's a lot of pain in the heart, which makes sense. There's a lot of reason to have heartache right now. And just know that there's layers to the healing. Whatever is ready to be healed today will receive healing. Love, again, love. So those areas of our heart that might need more of our love, send it to yourself. Send that love to yourself. Your self-love will heal your heart. There we go. There we go. And when you can feel the love of the water holding you, there's something bigger holding you. It's an infinite supply of love. Your heart can be whole and healed. Great. And then from your heart, send this light, this golden liquid light, to your lungs, to your respiratory system. Every time you take a breath, your lungs are exchanging oxygen and nutrients. So send this liquid light to your lungs, to your alveoli, just cleaning out any old energy in your lungs. Again, there's a lot of holding in our lungs. It's like we all haven't been able to take a full, deep, clean breath in a long time. So let's do that. Let's keep filling up our lungs. Full, deep breaths. And then exhaling, allowing this golden liquid light to enter our lungs. Restoring our lungs to their healthy tissues. Take some deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. And really imagine your lungs being revitalized and rejuvenated. If our lungs aren't functioning well, then our whole system of oxygen exchange and nutrient exchange in our bodies is not functioning at its optimum. So when we bring attention to certain organ systems in our bodies that we might not have consciously paid much attention to in a while, it really brings them back online. So good. I feel our lungs feeling more alive now. So our lungs are going to oxygenate and bring this golden liquid light back into our heart, where it's going to be pumped to the rest of our body. So we're going to bring it up our neck, into our face, into our skull. And let's bring it into our skeletal structure. Let's bring this liquid light into our skeletal structure, into our actual bones, which actually need hydration too. So imagine this liquid light hydrating your skull, your vertebrae, your spinal column, your ribs, your arm bones, your hip bones, down your legs, into your feet, to your hand bones. Then we're going to let this golden liquid light go into your nervous system itself, into your cerebral spinal fluid, really clearing out, purifying your nervous system. So into your brain itself, to the structures of your brain, your cortex, your midbrain, your cerebellum. Again, it doesn't matter if you don't know where these structures are, what they look like. Just your intention to bring this liquid light to your brain. I sense there's a lot of mental activity going on with this. That's okay. You don't need to think about it. Just again, be in the receiving mode of letting your brain relax, be recalibrated, cleansed, restored. Our nervous systems have all been in overdrive, and they're probably in overdrive throughout the day, every day. And so this is an opportunity to recalibrate your nervous system to its more natural resting state. So just let your brain and nervous system relax. And then we're going to bring that golden liquid light down your spinal cord. To all the peripheral nerves that come off of your spinal cord into the rest of your body, all of your nervous system. Recalibrating, purifying. Keep breathing. And then we're just going to bring this golden liquid light into all the other organ systems in your body. Into the areas that we haven't touched yet. As we move through your chest cavity and your abdominal cavity, into your liver, your gallbladder, your pancreas, your kidneys, your reproductive system, your bladder, your sexual organs, again, there's just bringing your awareness to all these parts of your body that you may not bring much attention to. Bringing the light and the life back to these areas. And just down your legs and your arms. This was the purification and the rehydration. The recalibration, and just want you all just to like imagine now, just like floating in the water for a minute or so, just to really let that settle into your system so that you can be harmonized with that in your system. And take some deep breaths. And feel yourself coming back into your body and your breath. We're going to regroup, and you're going to come back. You're going to get out of the pool of water, knowing that you've been revitalized and refreshed. You're going to make your way, you're going to put on your clothes, you're going to make your way back down that path. Coming out of the woods or nature, but feeling different in your embodiment. Because there's been a shift and a cleansing. And I'm going to invite you back into our group. I definitely want to leave time for questions and comments, but I also just want to share a few more slides. If you want to continue this process of continuing to like reconnect and restore and deepen your relationship to water, I want to share a little bit more about the Water Keepers community. So as you're coming back, you're probably still in a watery essence. Lovely. I want to share with you more about the Water Keepers community and the work that we do together in the Water Keepers community. I founded the Water Keepers community as a sacred healing space to continue this work of human ecological restoration, Because restoration is a process. It takes time. You don't restore an ecosystem and an environment overnight. It's a process. So what is the Waterkeepers community? It's a place for people to restore and deepen their relationship to water so that they can embody the most authentic and freely flowing expression of themselves in service to water and our planet. And the Waterkeepers community is founded on the 3 pillars of personal healing and transformation, because when you do this water work and you reconnect to water, it just completely transforms you and heals you from the inside out. Everything in your life changes and moves towards greater truth and wellness and wholeness. And you do this work in a community with a cohort of other individuals committed to their inner work and their service to water and the planet, and the effects are just compounding and synergistic, and the community itself is an ecosystem that contributes to the planetary restoration of our environment. So what do we actually do in the Waterkeepers community? We meet twice a month, just like we did now, to receive the healing and the wisdom and the teachings from water. And I belong to a network, a growing network of environmental experts, master healers, and indigenous wisdom holders, and we all just share our collective medicines and healings with each other, because we're all committed to healing ourselves and healing the planet. And we do this in community connection because that is what is needed right now for our planet to heal and for us to heal, not as individuals, but connected to each other with communities. You get access to a library of meditations, healings, activations, channeled wisdom and guidance from water and Mother Earth. And I really consider this like you becoming a student of the temple of water. For those of us who are devoted to learning from water and living the teachings of water and being in service to water. So this is not just another online course or a digital membership. It's a living, breathing, dynamic, alive ecosystem. And it's a sacred container held in the vibration of divine truth, love, and service. And it's ultimately water that holds us all. And when we deepen our relationship to water and we are in service to water, this heals us. This relationship heals us. So the Waterkeepers community is for you if you love water, are naturally drawn to water, want to learn from the wisdom of water. You've been feeling disconnected or separated from water and want to restore your relationship with water. You've been feeling stuck, stagnant, uninspired, and want to restore flow and vitality to your life. And you have gifts to share, and you're ready to express them into the world in service to our planet. And you want to be a part of a global community of waterkeepers devoted to serving and honoring water. So what I have found is that it's not just enough to purify water and restore its flow. Water needs a container, it needs a vessel, it needs a fertile soil to actually channel its flow and hold it in order for new life to take hold. So what is the investment? So anything of value takes an investment, not just in money, but in time and energy and commitment. And I know as a psychiatrist how difficult it can be to access quality, affordable care. So it was my commitment to make this financial investment as financially affordable to as many people as I can. And I know that you can easily spend hundreds and even thousands of dollars on healing services. And I'm inviting you to join this healing community for $99 a month, which is less than the cost of one therapy session. Or you can buy an annual membership for $999 and save an additional 2 months. But what I want to make clear is that this is not psychiatry or therapy or traditional mental health treatment. This is human ecological restoration work guided by the wisdom of water herself. And I know it works because it's the journey that I've taken myself on. It's the journey I guide clients on, and I see the results. And there's no monthly commitment. You can cancel at any time. But what I've seen is that it takes at least 3 months for your body to really take in the shifts in your own embodiment. And then from there, the layers, you just deepen and deepen into the layers of your own healing and your own expression. And that you just start revealing more and more of who you are, and your life becomes more and more of what you desire. So the real investment is the investment in yourself and your quality of life and what you want to experience and create in your life. So what are some of the people who are already in this community saying about it? Sarah says, I love this group. I felt drawn to it when I first saw it, and I trusted my intuition. It has helped me to look at water, my body, and my reality so differently, and opened up my relationship to water. Things have changed in just the first few months. I'm excited to see what will unfold. Gudrun says, the magic of this community is a deep connection to the wisdom of water in all its shapes and forms. In our meditations, I experienced my own waters with energies I did not know existed, and these experiences are now anchored deep in my body and help me to ground and transform in these changing and challenging times. Danielle says, since joining the Water Keepers community, I've been much more grounded, centered, inspired, creative, and experiencing calmer and more controlled waters personally, along with feeling the ripple effect of this powerful work spilling over into my professional role as a therapist. Anne writes, joining the Water Keepers community has been one of the best investments I have made in my own personal and collective wellness. Michelle says, I've had extraordinary experiences dropping into deeply transformative healing states. I'm not the same person I was when I entered this container. Christiane says, everything about this makes it the most powerful meditation-based healing practice I have ever experienced. And so I have a couple of bonuses for you. If you join the community, you also get access to my Restore Your Body of Water online course, which is an energy healing transmission that takes you step by step through your energy system, through your chakra system, systematically restoring, clearing, purifying, rebalancing your energy centers. If you buy an annual membership, you get a free one-on-one water healing session with me. And my time for one-on-one sessions is becoming increasingly limited. So this is a rare opportunity to receive a private session with me. And this likely won't be offered again in the future. So if this is calling to you, catch this wave now, because opportunities comes in waves and growth comes in seasons and cycles. And in the Water Keepers community, it's a living ecosystem where we honor the natural healthy cycles of ourselves and the earth and the waters. And so everything is run by the rhythm of life and earth itself. And it's my role as a water keeper to share this invitation with you. The clients I work with are intuitive, heart-centered, loving souls who are committed to their inner work and who care about our planet. So if your heart and your body is saying, this is calling to me, this is what I want, I invite you to listen and respond and join me in this community. And I want to leave you with just the simple message that you are a water keeper, because we are all water keepers, because we're all keepers of our own body of water. And how we honor our body of water is how you honor water. And we all have sovereignty over our body of water. So if you purify and restore your body of water to its most pristine natural state, you are contributing to the collective body of water on our planet. So mahalo, thank you. I believe the link, if you're interested in learning more about the Water Keepers community, is in the chat box, but I'm going to stay on. If you have any questions or comments, you can email me directly. You can find me online at Waterkeepers Community. And I just want to thank you all for showing up this morning, for just being interested in learning about water and how you can access water's healing qualities. And if any of you are interested in continuing the journey in the Waterkeepers community with me, I would just be delighted to have you join. So you can check the link. I'll send it out in email as well. But if any of you also just have questions or comments about this work, I'm completely open to answering anything right now. So thank you. So I send you off with love and healing. Know that you received a healing for your waterways, and in doing that, you're contributing to the healing of yourself and our planet. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, you can ask me or you can email me. I'll be in communication with all of you. Thank you. Thank you.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, who's that? RJ? You have a
This
question?
is RJ. Hi. Yeah, and sorry my camera's not working. So I've noticed I used to
Hold
be
on, let me just
very
turn off the music so I can hear you better. Let me turn off the music. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, RJ. Go ahead,
there we
RJ.
go. Hi. So yes, when I was a young child and young adult, I used to be very in tune with water. I used to want to be a mermaid, that whole kind of thing, and I used to spend a lot of time in pools and the energy of water. It was even carried into my name that my mother gave me, my middle name. And I've noticed now as an adult, I'm at a stage where just physically, I'm not drinking water. Even if I want to, I'm extremely thirsty. And I know in Chinese medicine, there's some reason for this, and I keep forgetting what it is when I was studying it. But it's like I'm so dehydrated and dry. And I think that this is more than just a physical thing. I think it's something energetic. And when I saw this offering and felt your beautiful meditation, I'm trying to find the disconnect. And just if you have any thoughts off the top of your head or suggestion about myself or others that are in a similar position, there's just this dryness, and it's almost like the I can't ground.
Yeah. You can. So RJ, it looks like the information's already coming through. Like I said about soil needing to be packed dry soil needing to be loosened and aerated before it can actually take in fluid and hydration. Like so many of us in our own embodiments, energetically, there's a way that our bodies have become so dry and dehydrated that even if we just drink water, we're not going to really absorb it into our tissues, and we're not really going to hold the water. So there is an energetic clearing and breaking up process that prepares your body to actually hold the water. And so yes, this is very common. This is actually part of the process of restoring your connection and relationship to water is energetically loosening up those areas in your body. So we do that with the energy healing. There's actually there's our fascial layer, which connects everything in our body, also is dehydrated. And so we need to rehydrate our myofascial layers through certain movements and techniques. In the community, I just brought in my friend who helped us do that. So there's so many different dimensions and layers to restoring your physical relationship and hydration to water. So I think what you're expressing is very common, and then when you actually water that, then I think some of those things that you said you felt as a child, your desire to be a mermaid or spend more time with water, like all of that just like will actually come back online once you water the soil back and rehydrate the soil of your own body. So I hope
Thank you.
that answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for just articulating what so many of us are actually experiencing and feeling. And it mirrors actually the what's going on in our environments, like in our planet. There's areas of drought and there's areas of flood. There's imbalance in the water cycle on our planet. And when we can bring our body of water back into balance and we can start channeling the right harmonious way of water to flow, like we contribute to rebalancing the planetary water cycle. Um, Anyone else have any questions or comments? Go ahead, Lori. Lori's a member of our community.
Yes, I just wanted to comment on that. And RJ, I think prior to my joining this company, I mean, this community, that's exactly how I felt. I too was in the water constantly as a child. And now I'm not in the water as much, even though I'm near water. But I've always felt this dehydration as well. And I've just noticed over the past few months, I just drink so much more, and there's just a flow, especially to my creativity and my playfulness with myself. And in the Chinese medicine, I don't know exactly what you were referring to, but water is associated kind of with self-esteem and your will to get moving and produce and be fluid. So I think that's kind of what's been liberated in me. I've always kind of been deficient in a Chinese medicine type of way with kidney energy, which is associated with water. And I just find that I've kind of opened up my flow, and it's been really a wonderful experience. And I thank you, Elizabeth, tremendously, because again, there's been this opening up and a new relationship with water.
Oh, thank you so much, Lori, for sharing that. I mean, this is what water keepers do. Like we open up waters for waters to flow. And so I'm so happy to hear that your waters are flowing, and the creativity piece, like that's what's so beautiful, is that when you open up your own waters, like your own creative expression and unique expression comes into the world that adds to the biodiversity and vitality and healing of our planet, because we need everyone's gifts to come online and to be shared and to be expressed. So beautiful. I look forward, Lori, to more of your waters flowing out. Anyone else? Yeah, just so if you're interested in joining the community, I would love to have you a part of it. There's the link. I'll email you the link. I'm going to keep enrollment open between now and next Tuesday because I really want to focus on, there's like these stages of growth, like a wave. And whoever joins now, there you will be joining an ecosystem that already exists, but you'll be bringing your own energy and gifts to the ecosystem, and everything needs to come in stages. And I'm really honoring the natural cycles of growth of this community and this ecosystem. So just know that you're really going to be tuning in to like an organic organism that's connected to the earth and the waters. Anyone else have any questions? If not, I'm sending you all So much love and appreciation for showing up and for doing healing work. Healing work is such sacred work. Like your own healing and just healing work in general is so sacred. So thank you. And have a beautiful day, and reach out to me if you have any questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Oh, Catherine, do you have a question? I see a raised hand. If you go ahead, Catherine, if you have a question. Maybe not. Catherine, if you have a question, you can reach out to me privately. And if anyone else has a question, they can reach out to me privately as well. Catherine, did you want to say something? Or I think you're still muted. There you
No.
go.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Elizabeth. I suppose I wanted to just ask what kind of we say in the offer, like what kind of would you be doing then, kind of in the group on kind of in the when like this was lovely today now, but what would you be doing sort of then in the group?
Yeah. Perfect question. So we meet twice a month, and I'm listening to water like all the time. And so I listen to what water wants me to transmit to the group, as because I'm tuning into our collective ecosystem and who's ever there, and what lessons and what teachings does water want to share. So I in the beginning portion of the group meeting, I do a little bit of a teaching and passing along what messages water has shared with me. We focused on things like the capillary network and how the capillary networks in our bodies are such a system. Like I'm giving an example of what something that the water says, teach about this, about how opening up the capillary networks are a model for restoring the tissues in your bodies, and how it's about reconnecting with your communities. And then after the teachings, 15-20 minutes, we go into a healing session just like we did today. And every session is different. Last week we did grief. So we really went into our grief and allowed water to assist us in releasing our individual grief and also collective grief. It was actually, the message came in that our group is acting like a kidney for the human collective, because we are filtering out trauma and ancestral healing that that other people may not necessarily be doing right now. And when we do our clearing work, we do it for our whole lineage, our families, our ancestors, our descendants. And so there's a real powerful effect on not only your individual healing, but on the ripple effect it will have for others in your lifetime and in your ancestral lineage. So the 90-minute group calls twice a month, there's teachings, and then there's a healing experience, and then there's discussion where I answer questions, and then there's a community platform where we're connected to each other and communicate with each other in between calls. And I'm just tuning into water all the time. So if there's a message that I want to pass along to you guys, I post it in the community platform, I email it to you, and it's an evolving ecosystem that I think will continue to develop in ways that are not fully revealed yet, but I just know that this is the way of healing in community. In addition to the 2 group calls, I bring in, like I said, other healers, other environmental experts who I feel like are really going to contribute to what we're doing. And so there's also just those classes that are on top of the healing sessions. There's bonus calls with other healers and experts, and it's just bringing together all the people who want to restore our planet to a healthy ecosystem.
Very good. And when are the calls?
The calls right now are on Thursday mornings, closest to the new moon and full moon, at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's going to shift to 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time in the new year. So I know if you're in Ireland, that's probably going to be like sometime in the afternoon.
It's 5 o'clock here now, or was when you started.
Yeah, are you 8 hours ahead? I think you're 8 hours ahead. So that will probably be like 5:30 your time. But I record all the calls, so if people can't make it live, I send out the replays. And people, this is a global community of people from Europe and so all over. And people who can't make it live tell me that the replays are just as powerful.
Right.
And because it really transcends time and space.
Yeah, no, I suppose I love getting into the water and things, but just kind of at the moment now it's too cold again. But I suppose during the summer period it was lovely, and it's just gone too cold now. I used to like I don't get in when it's even cold at all.
Yeah,
I find benefit.
one of the beauties of doing this work is realizing that like there's so many different ways to restore your relationship to water that like even if the water's too cold to get in, like you're gonna feel nourished in other ways. That like I was so single pointedly focused on like my relationship to the ocean for so long that I felt like, oh, I can't be by the ocean. Oh, I'm disconnected from the water. And like, but when I reconnected to water, I realized that water is connected everywhere. So even though I don't live close to the ocean right now, I live close to a stream, a creek, and a river, and I feel just as connected to the ocean as if, well, maybe not just as, but there's a way that you can feel connected to the water, even if it's too cold to go into. And so just Diane, answering your question and just reiterating, the calls right now are on Thursdays. We're going to have a call next week, Thursday morning. That's why I'm opening enrollment now, and you have till Tuesday to sign up so I can kind of like really know who's on board and really tune into like who the next wave of community members in our ecosystem will be. And so they're on Thursdays, so twice a month. October 21st, next week, Thursday morning at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that would be, I think GMT is 7 hours ahead, 4:30 Europe time, GMT time, Greenwich Mean Time. I've had to get so good at time zones, but it's so great being part of a global community because it's really, this work is really meant to connect us all. Because water connects our planet. It really connects all life on our planet.
Thanks very much, Elizabeth.
Yeah, thank you, Catherine. And reach out if you have any other questions that come up.
Thank you.
And if anyone else has any other questions, let me just look at the chat real quick to see if I missed any questions. Thank you, Nicola. Thank you. It's really nice to have you here. All right. I don't see any other questions. If everyone else doesn't have any questions at this time, I'm going to sign off, but I'm going to send you some emails, and you can always reach out to me. And again, thank you so much. Okay. Take care, everyone. Bye.